Hello! How are we all doing today? Hopefully we're having a nice day and things are going well. How's my hair? Seems vaguely reasonable. Cool. Hi, if we haven't met before, my name is Mark Mandel. I do developer advocacy for Google Cloud, and I work on a bunch of open source things which are really fun. Hopefully today's going to go really well. Been having some weird technical issues, but this is weird. I dropped my OBS settings down to a lower bitrate by like 200 kilobytes, and it looks like everything's being really smooth. So because I've said that, everything will now fail, but hopefully everything will go according to plan. We'll see how we go. But I have a lot of monitoring going on, so I can see everything that is happening. Okay, cool. What are we working on today? So today that's gonna be interesting. So let me throw this up and see if this works. So of course GitHub's having like an incident right now. We'll see if that's getting updated. Of course, they're having lots of fun. We'll see how that goes. But I'm working on player tracking inside Agones. So what does that mean? So basically what I want to do is check to see how many players are... what's the word I'm looking for? How many players are currently connected to a game server, whether they're disconnected or connected, that kind of stuff, tracking all that kind of information. I just noticed this use by thing. Huh. Fancy. Anyway, that's not relevant. I just got excited. All right, so cool. I've started doing some of this work, and it's all hidden behind a feature flag inside of Agones. If you have any questions, want to say hi, please drop stuff in chat as well. So when we get stuck in, I'm really hoping my stream is gonna like work really well today, and it's looking good. So that's gonna make me happy. All right, so you'll notice this here is the Sdk Server. So this is the sidecar process that sits alongside the Agones. When you run a game server inside Agones, this is SDK process that runs alongside it, and it's usually pretty. It's just a gRPC endpoint that we interconnect. And to implement these alpha things, we have this extra bit on the side. So what does that actually mean? So let's actually have a look. So here we have player connect, player disconnect, get player count. These are our SDK commands that we had set up there. And that's not too bad. That's fine. We've already implemented set and get player capacity. And my dogs come for a visit because why not? Dogs are wonderful. It looks like my downstream has died again, but that's fine. My upstream's still working. Okay, so what do we want to do? So we want to implement player connect, player disconnect, and get player count to round this out. So let's see how we might want to do that. So let's have a look-see. What do I want to do? So we're going to start with one part of this. I haven't decided which part yet. Let me think about this for a second. So my original thought was get player count. That seems like a reasonable one to start with. That should be pretty cool. So let's do that. We have some retrieval options before we've done previously called get player capacity. And what we've done there is we're storing a variable for current player capacity. And we're doing that for a variety of reasons. So like what we want to do is basically have a value constantly of what the player count is that's available through the SDK. But what we do want to do is be able to have that in a way that may not be exact to what's stored in the custom resource definition. So we actually store this when you go into Agones and you grab a game server and you try and get its status values, it'll have the count in there, but we don't want to update that constantly because that'll just hammer, you know, if you have 100 players join a game all at the same time, we want to like just maybe do it like once a second or something like that on an interval so that it's eventually consistent, but we're not like hitting the API 100 times for every player that joins. We're doing it maybe, you know, 3 or 4 times over the 30 seconds where people join or something like that, right? So so we can batch that stuff together. But we do want it to be such that if I'm in the SDK, I want to have an accurate count at all times. So first thing, so I think we can actually pretty much copy this and it should be okay. So I'm going to splat that in there. Excuse me. I grabbed some water, which is very important. Water helps everything. That is better. Okay. So get player count, blah, blah, blah. So we've got this lock in place. Awesome. We can keep that there. We're returning a count, much the same, but we want a GS player count, which is going to say, I don't know what that is because that doesn't exist. Can I create that field? Will it do it for me? It will. I love IntelliJ. You're so handy. GS player count. All right, that was easy. That was pretty straightforward, but we'll need to populate that with a value. So let's do that work as well. Now I've already done this. So when the game server starts up, what are we doing here? So it's going to be 0, but let's actually pull it from the game server itself. Just to be nice and consistent. So inside run, here we go, blah, 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 populate player capacity value. So if we have player values, call it tracking, s.gs player count equals gs.status.players.count. Now that should be 0 because you can't actually set that to an initial value or initial thought. Asher Dan, thank you so much for enjoying the stream. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Hopefully my technical issues don't come into a problem. All right, cool. So that should be pretty straightforward. I don't think I need anything else. So that'll set the count. The count shouldn't really be set to an initial value, but in theory, like the SDK server could go down maybe. So we probably want to keep that value. If something horrible happens, and at least be close to what the game server count should be, something like that. I think that seems reasonably simple, or at least reasonably. What's the word I'm looking for? Reasonable. Seems reasonable. Sweet. All right, so that seems pretty cool. Let's have a look here. All right, so we're getting that value. Let's pop down here. Okay. Let's write a test for it. Do we want to write a test first? No, we're gonna write a test last. So we'll just add a little to do there. To do is my, you need to do this before you commit stuff. That's my special filter. So if I actually pop over here into my to-dos, you'll see like there's one to-do which is in here. I have that filtered on here to Tixu, so that I know that I need to do that. Because, code bases, right? Like they get filled with all kinds of to-dos everywhere. So I usually write it this way and it makes life easier. I'm like, oh, that's the thing I needed to do then. Okay, so player connect and player disconnect. We're probably going to end up doing a bunch of things in here, but let's see if we can just work out first pass on this. So eventually, we actually have it in our design doc where when a player connects or disconnects, a thing goes out to a webhook, and you can tell an external system that, hey, player connected are different. We're not actually storing that data here just because there's custom resources inside Kubernetes probably aren't the best placing for storing like that kind of data. Maybe down the line we experiment with it. I'm not sure, but for right now we're not. So we're just saying, hey, if somebody connects or disconnects, we're going to send out a webhook request, which I think is fine. Where are we? So that seems pretty reasonable. So really all we need to do is player connect and disconnect is increment, no decrement. But there is actually one thing we should do. One thing that is very important, which is we need to track the number of the players that we have coming in and out. So reason being, if somebody sends player connect and they're passing in an ID of a particular player ID, and they said player connect like 3 times, and it's the same ID. In theory, like we shouldn't increment every time when the ID, when an ID the same type comes through. That just seems a little ridiculous. And that this ID would in theory like go out to the webhook and stuff, which we haven't done yet. So how do we want to do that? I guess in theory we're just gonna have to store it in memory. I don't see any other way around it. And that seems fine. I just realized we should have an extra an extra function on here. We should add a clear players or clear player count or empty player count or maybe a set player count. That's an interesting question. I'll think about that later. Set player count question mark. There's an interesting idea. I quite like that idea, actually. That's kind of interesting. I'm just thinking through this out loud. I'm just thinking for people who want to have game servers that they can reuse. You want to be able to reset it back to a default state. So you could just be like, set player count 0, gone. Set player count could also mean like if you're using your own system for tracking players, you just want to be able to pass that through to our system immediately. This also seems reasonable. Yeah, this also seems reasonable. Yeah, I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. Let me add that to my, to the design. But we'll do that later. First things first. Okay. Yeah, I like this idea a lot, actually, that now I think about it. So that's pretty cool. All right. Let's see. Thinking out loud. So we want both of these. We have this GS update mutex. Do we want to lock it? Yeah, probably. I mean, it's not like we're getting we might be getting a lot of stuff come through here. So we might want our own mutex for this. Because basically what do we want to do? Let's actually map this out. Maybe that's easier. So if a player connects, check if the player ID is in the player map. If they are, return and exit. If not, increment counts. Send update to work out how you want to update the CRD. That's actually a really interesting question, and I don't know. We have to think about that. And then on disconnect, if they are not, return index. Excuse me. If they are, if yes, increment count and add to map. Whereas here, if yes, decrement count and remove from map. Okay, cool. And then work out how you want to update the CRD, which I haven't worked out yet. Finally, we will return a alpha.empty, which needs to be a pointer, and nil. Okay. Cool. That's a good start. Okay. So first things first. Okay, so we do have. All right. So how are we doing setting of other stuff? Just real quick. Which can label, set annotation. Okay, so we do basically the same thing. All right. So we should chuck some. Whoops. I should chuck some debug in there. I like that idea first. Because I like debug stuff, so I can see what's going on. That'll do. All right. .debug, less.logger.with field. Boom. .debug. Player connected. Oh, whoops. My bad. Player ID. ID. Cool. And that should be player connected. Why are you complaining? Nope, you're good. Okay. And then we can do the same thing down here. That seems good. Player disconnected. Very simple. Cool. All right. So far, so good. Okay, we need some kind of player map. So before we do that, we need to do some locking. Did I steal that from somewhere? This one. Blam. We may unlock before the end of the thing, but let's see how we're going. We're gonna need a player map. Now, if I want to be fast about this, yeah, you know what? If I want to be fast about this, I should do a read write mutex. But like, how much do I care? Basically, I'm thinking it seems to be fairly low probability that someone is going to basically, what's the word I'm looking for? Someone is going to send a whole load of player connects like in sequence of the same ID. Like it seems like it could happen, but it's a rare occurrence. That's my theory, right? Like this player connected, this player connected, this player connected, and like making that an optimal fast path seems like the least prime, like the least. There's no point in doing that extra work. I guess is kind of my point. At least my theory, anyway. Okay. So say we're doing that. So let's start with the simple thing, which is we need a player map. Game server player map, or just call it, game server state. We just call it a player ID map. Right, I just need no, I don't want that to be public. What am I doing? Player ID map. Be a map of string booleans, just because why not? Here comes the dog. I have GS in front of a bunch of stuff, but I don't know if like, yeah, it's stored internally, so I think that's fine. Player ID map. Connected. That's better. Connected players. That seems more in line. Okay, cool. Names are important. Hold that in the background. Okay. Connected players seems good. Do I want my own mutex? Let's start with no. No is easy. No is a good place to start. So let's start with this. No, not that one. That one. Yeah, give me what I want. Let's start with easy. Wait a minute. That is a rewrite mutex. I have something stupid in here. I just realized. Actually, let me have a look. Get player capacity is relock. Set player. Oh, no. I'm good. All right. So get player count is a relock. Okay. All right. So what you're saying. All right. So you know what? Let's do our checking in here first. And if not, then we can do a write. So actually, we've already got this as a read write mutex for the whole thing, and I think that's kind of reasonable, and I think we'll be fine. All right. Underscore okay equals s dot connected players colon ID. I think I got that right. Let's just make sure that's actually returning a boolean. It is. Good. Thank you. All right. Why are you complaining? Oh, ID dot. There's got to be a value to it, right? String. Perfect. There we go. Lovely. There you go. If not okay. Oh, sorry. If okay. Then let's just return out. All right, already exists. Yep. This player has already connected, so exit. Why are you complaining? You are not. Okay. Nice. If not, we're going to do a write lock. Dot lock defer s.gs update mutex dot unlock. All right, and so now we can say s.gs, s dot connected players id.player id is true, and s.gs.player count plus plus. I'll do that first because that makes me feel better. And then I need to work out how I want to update the CRD. That's the next step. Let's we'll need to write tests for this as well. That'll make me happy. Because I can basically reuse this structure, but flip it around for the next one. So let's do that. Okay, so if not okay has already disconnected. Exit. Good if I could write words. Words are good. All right, cool. All right, so yada, yada, yada. That should become minus, minus. And if I remember correctly, I want to say that's how you remove... No. Is that right? I have totally blanked on how to remove a key. Whoops, I can't spell map, but anyway. How do you move a key for a map? Delete map key. Yeah. Oh, there's a key is in action. Yada, yada, yada. I can't remember these things. Delete sessions. Oh, yeah. So that's good. Yeah. All right, cool. I remembered. Awesome. Okay. All right. I'm gonna check out minus B. We'll call it feature player dis and player connect. Just call it player connect. I'm just gonna commit some of this. Work in progress. First pass at initial logic for connect and disconnect. Beautiful. Oops. Push that up. Well, let's see how GitHub's doing. Is it gonna let me do that? It is. Ah, they did well. All right, cool. All righty. Beautiful. All right. Cool. So, next fun question, which I actually am not entirely sure I know the answer to, which is we want to update the custom resource definition. And the fun thing that's going to exist here is that, okay, so the way we've done this previously for everything else, because we're just not expecting to have to batch operations essentially, is we have a queue. So let's look at that real quick. Here comes my dog. Here we go, update state. So, okay, here we go. So we have a sync game server where we have a bunch of keys and we do that updation. Updation's a word. We do our updating. So let's go update player counts. Let's set this up. Yep. Go across package. Just clean that up real quick. Thank you. Go back. Sync game server. Okay, so then if we say case update player count, we'll do something like return s update player count, which doesn't exist. But that's writing too many different languages. That looks good. We'll probably want something very similar to this. So let's just grab that and grab and paste it. What do we want? Update player count. Updates player count field in the game server status. Cool. If it's feature enabled, don't do it. Count s.gs player count. Updating player counts. Beautiful. We grab the game server. We don't hit copy. We say gs copy players dot count equals s player count, and we update it. Okay, that was pretty straightforward. That looks pretty good too, and we'll want some tests for this as well. Do I actually write specific tests for this in here? No, I think I just let it flow all the way through. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I could write specific tests for it, but not too bad. Okay. What other fun things are we going to do? Alrighty. All right. So we come back into here. So what we've done previously on, say, set labels, for example, right? So if you aren't familiar, there's a whole system inside like the libraries for Kubernetes controllers and stuff. Essentially what it does is we'll throw this key into a queue. And we'll enqueue it. And what happens then is if it fails for whatever reason, it will go ahead and retry that until it goes through. And it's really, really powerful, right? Like your Kubernetes master goes down, or actually a common thing is if it grabs a copy of, like, say, the game server resource and somebody else does an update before you get to it, it will actually reject it from the system and be like, hey, somebody else has already done something, so just like try again. All that kind of good stuff. So we want to put this in a queue. The only thing is I don't want to be... I'm worried that if I enqueue it every single time, it's just going to constantly try and update it. I don't want that. Actually, here's another fun thing that I can do. So update player count, game server. Now, we grab a read lock. Which is to say, so let's do a same equals false. Yeah, that's kind of same equals, whoops, we want to do that first. Same equals, right. And if same, return null. Right. So if there's no change, there is no change, then don't update. Cool. That seems like a good. Like, I'm just trying to make sure that we don't really hammer the Kubernetes API whenever there's somebody joins the game, right? You know, the worst case scenario I can think of is very much, you know, what's the word? Like a battle royale, right? Like 100 people join a game server and suddenly there's 100 requests that go out, and then you're doing that over thousands of games, and like that's bad. We don't want that. That doesn't sound like fun. So. How do we do that in a better way? So, all right. So that's like if there's no change, like don't do it. I'm less concerned about capacity, although we could do the same thing. So there's that as well. Since this is likely to be called quite since it's possible this will fire quite this could, but let's reduce the amount of requests as much as possible. Okay, cool. That gives some motivation for why we're doing that. And I don't really do it anywhere else. And and usually it's not really necessary. I'm actually curious whether like there's some no op type stuff in there, but I'm not sure if there is. Yeah, I think, you know, usually I usually don't care, but this seems pretty good. All right. What's next? What is next? That is a good question. Okay, so what I actually want to look at is the queuing. So what we could do is kind of abuse the queue a little. Maybe this will work. Hold on, let's have a look. See. Let's have a look. All right, so we have a worker queue. I'm pretty sure the worker queue happens every second anyway, which is fine. We have a new worker queue. That's great. Awesome. You're amazing. There's all kinds of other fun stuff that we have inside here. A new worker queue with rate limiter and all that kind of fun stuff. So in queue, puts the name of the runtime object in the queue to be processed. Okay, cool. Blah, 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 blah. Add rate limited. Okay. Rate limiting interface. Add rate turn on worker queue after the rate limiter says it's okay. All right, reasonable. This is a, what sort of queue is this? This is a new rate limiting queue, which gives me a rate limiting interface. Delaying interface. Add after. Now here's the interesting question that I have. What happens if you add something that already exists to the queue? Does it re-add it? Because if it doesn't, this could make it really easy. Because basically, once you add a player, we could just be like, hey, update this in a second. If other stuff comes in, cool. It might try and re-add it. But if it's already there, it doesn't matter. Queue, let me see if there's any particularly good docs in here. If it has... get returns yada 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 yada. Done marks done processing. So these are actually libraries that come with, well, not come with, but are part of the Kubernetes platform. Delaying queue. This might be an interesting one. These are all interfaces. I'm looking for like an implementation. Peak, shutdown, add after, interesting try, blah, blah, blah. Cool, cool, whatever. Queue.add. Add no things with no delay. Okay. Duration is less than 0. Otherwise, wait for, and we do a bunch of other stuff. Okay, but here, inside add. Stop doing that. Is there a queue implementation that I can look at? Here we go. If queue.dirty has item, then we return. Okay, so if it's already there. Oh, sweet. So we can totally abuse this. Yeah, we can. This is actually going to work ridiculously well, and I'm super happy about it. Okay, so let me step you through what it is that I'm thinking. So, where are we? So let's say we do add. Boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. Okay, so update player count is what needs to happen. Oops, my bad. Where's the function I want? Update player count. Perfect. So no, that's not what I wanted. Player connect. Boom. Sweet. What we need to do. Oh, this actually gets me really excited. Ooh, do I have? I feel like I do. Not this util. Let me go to. I have a wrapper around that queue, but I have a strong feeling that I wrote in queue after. Yes. I actually don't think I use that anywhere. No, I don't. I wrote that ages ago. I also can't spell in queue. I wrote this ages ago for something else that I was like, oh, I definitely will need this for this. And then I never needed it for that. But now I do. This is perfect. All right, perfect. All right, so when, here we go. So I just want to have a quick look. There's an enqueue state. Oh, no, not what I care about. Oh, interesting. Some enqueue functions. Interesting. Oh, that's because I do a bunch of like different state transitions. Okay, cool. But like set label, yeah. See, I can just do this. This is fine. I don't think I do it that often. Then player connect. Oh man. Nope, I'm in the wrong thing. Okay, my bad. Okay, s.worker to enqueue, and that is update player count. But I want to do enqueue after. Let's do like, how often do we want to do this? Like once a second? Does this return an error in any way, shape, or form? Nope. That seems reasonable. All right, so we're gonna need let's put that in like a const of some sort, or let's do player count update. Let me close the door because I can hear everything that's going on outside. There we go. That's better. Player count update period. That works. And that'll be a duration equals time.second. Nope, not an SDK, a time.duration. Oops. There we go, that looks good. And then if we go all the way back down here, then we can do this. Haha. Okay. I should write some comments on this, which is fine too. So, cool. What this is going to do, haha, magic, is it's going to enqueue this after a second once somebody's been like, hey, I've either connected or disconnected. And then what's cool about this is if somebody does another connect or disconnect, all of this still happens, right? Like all the numbers go up and down as they should with the appropriate locking. That's all fine. Could do this, which is like just a little bit neater because this I don't need to what's the word? I don't need to lock that. So let's actually do that on both. I like that idea a lot. Cool. Get that nice formatting across the board. Okay. And so if somebody comes along again and they're like, hey, let's, I've added another person, they're going to be like, well, it's already in the queue. You don't have to do it again. Don't worry about it. And then it'll just get picked up. And boom. Boom, boom, boom. Love it. Love it. I love it how they have these tools inside these libraries that you can just take advantage of. Makes me very happy. Okay. All right. Let's go import that. First pass at implementation. Need to write tests. Push that up. Okay, so the other thing I will do is I'm going to do this on my other computer. So as I'm connected, git remote. Yeah, update-pay. All right, get checked. Feature. I like to do this on the other machine, just because. Yeah, actually, let's run all of it. Just because it can use some CPU and that can interrupt my stream. Also, now I can just do this in the background and do other stuff while I'm worrying about it. So that's cool. I can see what's going on there. All right, so big things I need to do now. Write tests. The important stuff. So I've got get player count, player disconnect, and player connect. Okay. That seems reasonable. what I'd like to do is write some tests. All right, very quick break. Let's just have a quick look. Nobody's sending me anything important. Good. Gotta check just in case there are emergencies. We'll have some water as well. Okay, so how do we want to test this? Hopefully I have some existing tests that I can take advantage of and everything will be fine. Let's see how we go. All right. My brain just fell over. All right, Sdk Server. Sdk Server test. Player capacity seems like a good one to copy. Ooh, there's lots of goodies in here. All right, I'm gonna steal that. In fact, we will steal. Ooh, let's steal all of this. Seems like a good start. In fact, there's probably a lot we can steal here. So let's split this screen. We'll get rid of you. Bring you up, and you. Yeah, and then we can just steal all the bits we want, and it'll give us a bit of a guide on how to do some of this stuff. Because there's a few bits and pieces we'll want to set up along the way, including some feature flags and other fun stuff that we have inside this code base. So let's write a test. Let's start with that. Sdk Server player connect and disconnect. Because I think like we're gonna do this all in one go. Like I think that seems reasonable. Okay. And we're going to want to make that in parallel. Now, I'll explain this whole block here. So t.parallel, if you're not familiar with Go, if you don't put that there, it runs your test synchronously, sort of-ish. T.parallel just says, hey, we can do this in parallel. We're putting this in place because we're actually changing these global feature flags that are global to the entire system and are stored in a global thing, which is like pros and cons. So we have a mutex that we share amongst tests so that we know that a particular test that's in a particular feature is only going to happen at any point in time, but all other tests can run in parallel without any problem. We also let feature flags to because tests get run in random orders, we're actually quite happy with that because feature flags could be on or off in other tests and those tests should still pass. And so if they fail for any reason, that gives us some indicators that we have some bad code somewhere. And that's actually caught some weird errors in places as well where, a flag has been turned on like partway through, which shouldn't happen inside the code, but should still be safe and makes me happy if it is. So yeah, I actually really like doing it this way. It makes me happy. So we're turning on player tracking feature flag so that we can run this test. Then we're going to we've got some mocks that we set up here. So we have this, we have a mocking library there. And when Kubernetes generates a bunch of clients and libraries, it actually gives you mocks as well, which is super nice that you can take advantage of. And so we use those. And then we have default sidecar. That's also nice. Seems like I would need a game server. So we need to populate... we need to populate the platform with a game server of some kind. Here, we actually don't want that. We'll have a spec. Yeah, log level debug is nice. Not going to complain about that. But we'll actually give it a... Ooh, let's think about this for a minute. No, we're not going to give it anything. We'll apply defaults. That all seems good. Cool. I'm okay with that. Apply default. So we should start with a 0. We should start with 0. That's what should happen. And it's actually a good test to determine if that's what's actually happening. I'm not going to worry about this right now. This is basically checking to see if updates happening, but I just want to get an initial test running. So let's get that going. So here, what we're going to do here is this. Inside the Go clients for Kubernetes, there's things called informers and listeners. Basically, it's a local cache of the information that's stored inside the resources. So what we're doing here is we're saying, hey, informer factory, just start tracking changes and having a cache going on. And then we're actually saying, hey, wait for the cache to actually come through for the game servers. So we know that this that we put here that is updating, that is basically going to get listed and be like, hey, is this here? We know that it's available. Okay, we want to... Yes, we do want to run. All right, how do we know? this isn't a problem for anywhere else, but essentially we need to wait for the player capacity to come through. So you know what I'm going to do? I am actually going to set a initial player capacity. Just because then I know that it's definitely happened. This is here to give us a reference so we know when a run has completed. Cool, and then like, let's do that. All right, boom. All right, check initial values come through. All right, get player capacity, that should all be fine. All right, cool. So initial value should be 0. Oh, actually, I don't think we can write that as a test. I don't think we have to write that as words. So assert, actually, count error. Pretty sure that's the thing. sc.get player count. We'll have a context dot background, and I'm pretty sure it takes an alpha, an empty. Yeah, alpha dot empty. Let's turn that into a variable because we're going to reuse that a lot. Equal to occurrences, we'll call that E. Beautiful. Cool. Assert dot equal t count. Actually, it should be 0 because that's expected. Count dot count. Beautiful. So that's a first good test. Let's see what that runs like. That'll compile. See whether that kills anything. No, my CPU looks okay. Cool. Lovely. Keeping really close track of what's going on. Oh, no. Oh, it's in 64. I always do that. Run it again. Compiling. That looks pretty good. All right, cool. Awesome. Where are we now? Okay, so that looks pretty good. So I'm gonna have a quick look over here. Okay, everything looks really good. All right, so linting and tests ran on the box in the sky, and that looks pretty good. So sweet. That looks awesome. What's next? Next on my list of things to do. All right, so that's a good test. So basically what I need to do next is actually do an update. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay, sorry. I should actually talk. I should talk out loud so people can understand what I'm saying. I'm actually following what we did in player capacity. So the next thing that we should actually test is to, it should be fine. From the SDK's point of view, the player count should always be correct. And yeah, let's do this. This is going to be fun. I have an idea. So the SDK should always be correct. Even if we send, so this is what I'm going to do. So here we go. SDK value should always be correct, even if we send more than one update per second. All right. So yeah, this works. For I equals 0, I less than 3. We're just going to do 3 I plus plus. And we're going to do sc.player connect. What do we take in there? Context, so background. And a player ID, so we'll just say string strconv. There we go. strconv.i to a. I. All right. Does this return anything? I think it does. Alpha and an empty. Okay, so we should check that. Cert.no error t error. Cannot use string I to a type string as should be a to I. No, it should be I to a. What's your damage? Cannot use I to a type string as type alpha dot player ID. Oh, yep. My bad. ID equals. Does that take a pointer or does that take a thing? It does take a pointer. Okay, cool. And alpha dot player ID. Select fields. Player ID string equals that. We can make that one line. Okay, and now we can pass in the ID. Right, so we should do that 3 times really fast because, you know, it goes usually pretty fast. And that seems pretty cool. And so, okay, cool. So let me think about this some more. So that should go through 3 times. When we do this, what's the best way of testing this? I'm trying to decide. Do we test it on every single run through or do we test it at the end? Thinking. Do we test it? We could test every single one, just like bloop bloop bloop. No, we'll test it at the end. We'll do that. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Let's see. I think this makes sense. All right. Let me think. So yeah, let's do this. Which is to say, just thinking through this real quick. Okay, so when we do sc.player, do we want to do some disconnects or no? We'll do a bunch of connects and then we'll do a bunch of disconnects and then we'll come back. I like this. This should be good. Let me drag this up a little. I do want that there, but I'm going to come back to it. So sc.get player count background e, yeah, and that returns count an error. Cool. Count error. All right, so assert.no error. Whoops. Error. And assert.equal. It should be 3. Oops, sorry. T3 count. That should be right. You're complaining. Why are you complaining? Oh, no new variables. Okay, that's fine. Cool. That all seems reasonable. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. Let's think this through. That all looks okay. So, all right, so let's see if that passes. We have a long test. Run that. And test failed. Ooh, test failed. Why did you fail? Assignment to entry in nil map. Panic. Ooh. We don't create a map. That's actually a good one. That's actually a really good one. We should create. There's nothing in the map. I can see that exactly where that is. Boom. Oh, sorry, not right there. Agones.dev server.go. Here we go. Right when we set. Oh, that's in the wrong one. Do that down here. I'll tell you what. We'll get rid of that. I know what I'm doing now. So, what's I gonna say? I was gonna say that when we do this connect to player ID or otherwise, we never actually initialize this like at all. So we should do that. Here we go. Fill selected fields. Collected players map. Oh, well, that's just not fun. Map string ball done. Cool. All right. So, what comes next? All right, so if I run that now and I rerun the test we were running, let's have a look. Whoop, still int versus int 64. Ay. How many times am I going to get busted by that? So many times. I'm going to get busted by that so many times. There we go. Okay, that's looking pretty good. All right, so now we need to test for update. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So now we need so we have these things called reactors inside the mocking system that Agones gives you. And what happens there is that we are able to actually intercept when updates happen, which is pretty nice. Yeah, what am I thinking? I'm just making sure everything's okay. How are we doing for time? We're good. I don't have any meetings, I think, today. Let's also double check. Yeah, we're good. All right, sweet. Here we go. Add reactor. I can steal that. Updated. Ooh. Let me think about this. This is an interesting one. So what do we want to track? So my original thought. Actually, yeah, this should work. So we're going to do an update. We're going to have a channel that we can put stuff into, which then we can wait for, which is handy. And what we're going to do is put the count in, right? Yeah, actually, this is actually going to work really well. Updated gs.status.players.count. So what value did we come through where the players came through? Like what value was it that came through? Now, if our queuing system works properly, which hopefully it will, then what was I going to say? Then, whoops, I just dropped my wedding ring. Then we should only get one update, and it should just be at 3, because I think that should spin through faster than one every single, like faster than a second every single time. So let's see if that happens. I am gonna, yeah, perfect. Beautiful. Because the update up I only once. So that should be 3. Time.minute? Yeah, say 10 seconds, or 5 times time.second, because it should definitely get through before then. We'll give it 5 seconds for here. We might bump it up for when it's finally testing, just to make sure. Compiling, doing its thing. Nice. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Very nice. That seems to have worked. Excellent. Okay. So what I also want to see at this point is I want to do it. Confirm there was only one update. So we're going to do this, but if we get to here, we will say assert.fail. Should only be one update on connection. And after, like, just 1 second, that's fine. Yeah, I'll give you 2 seconds to wait. And I can't spell. No news there. Oh, we don't care about the value, we just care whether it's updated or not. Alright, run that. Let's see how we go. Since I've got people watching still, and if you're listening right now, can you throw in chat whether or not my upstream dropped off? I don't think it did at any point, but I'd like to know. Looking at my network metrics, it looks like my data was going up, but my downstream just disappeared at one point for a little while. Anyway, if you noticed, great. If you didn't, and that would be ideal. Everything was smooth, that would be good. Where was I? Okay, so that all passed. Lovely. So let's now do the reverse. Let's do some disconnects. Let's do like 2 disconnects. We leave one behind. And that should actually be really awesome. I'm just going to go into here and be like, did that. Get player count. Player connect. We did that. Beautiful. Yeah, we just have the one. We just have disconnect left. Oh, how are we doing on the size we have here? Get div stats master. We're hitting up around 100, 200 lines of code. I feel like 200 lines of code is like a good size for PR. Yeah, as soon as you start hitting around 200 lines, that's usually my winner chicken dinner sort of situation. I've been trying to be really good about creating pull requests that what's the word I'm looking for, that kind of are easily digestible, that people can get through pretty easily. And yeah, so the one thing that's a habit I'm trying to grow more of, which is just checking like what does that look like against what's in master, so that I don't go too far beyond. It's so easy to just be like, oh, I'm just going to keep adding stuff, and then you send it for PR review and someone's like, why do I have to look through 14 different files that have 1,000 lines of code that I just have no idea what the hell this is doing? Makes me sad. Yeah, but if I can get this in today, actually what that means is I could write documentation for adding and removing player counts, and I actually have a sum of this in the next release, which is coming next week. So that's actually super awesome. Or at least I could actually be really close to it. So we'll see how we go. I'll need to write some end-to-end tests. I think that's my next step. Writing that down. Cool. Cool. All right, so I'm going to update that and do that next. Beautiful. All right, so just keeping track of the things that I want to do and the order I want to do them in. This looks good. All right, so now I'm going to flip this around and let's grab this. We can literally just copy paste it. So we're going to let's leave one player behind. I actually had another thought as well, which was that we're actually storing these players' ID in memory. Maybe people want to get at them. But you know what? If people end up wanting to get at them, they could ask the question or submit a pull request. I think it's a simple addition. So yeah, I'm not against it. Could be kind of cool. So only problem there being like, you know, like terrible case scenario, the Sdk server falls down, you lose that in-memory data. Heck. So that's not good. But one problem at a time. Some of this is what's nice about having like alpha and beta and stable features, is that we can experiment a bit and see what sticks and what doesn't, and take it from there. Doop 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 doop. All right. My brain just fell over. What was I doing? That's right. Player disconnect. Player disconnect. Same thing. Get player context, but now it should be 1. And we can literally just copy this. 64 1. I'm going to give this timed up minute on both. Actually, no, that's fine for now. There should only be an update on. Wow, that language is bad. Should only be an on and update. Blah. Should not fire an update. No. There should be only one update for the incoming connections, player connections. For the player connections. That's better. Let's write something that sort of makes sense. Why are you complaining? You're complaining because should. That's a good reason. No? Don't know. There should only be one update for the player disconnections. That's better. All right, sweet. Excellent. Alrighty. Also just want to see what that looks like. Yeah, okay, we're definitely at the point where we want to stop writing code. Passed. Beautiful. That's exactly the thing I want to see. Yes. All right, then we can get rid of 0 tests. That looks awesome. Cool. That's actually ready for submission as a PR. Fantastic. I need to do, actually what I need to do actually next is I need to do the local implementation. So local for player. It'd be good if I just move my book over here. Player connect and disconnect. That'll be next. Actually, that's a number 1. Oop. Cool. Slowly, slowly, slowly. All right, cool. We'll see whether this makes the next release. It might just be there, and we'll see how it goes. All right. Cool. I'm actually gonna run. That's a good. Oh no, I lie. Let me git add that and commit that. I lie. Let's, before I do that, I'm not gonna run. All right, so implementation of get player count, set player capacity, and get player capacity. All right, so let's commit that. Boom, boom, boom. Implementation, SDK, implementation of get player count. This is gonna be too long. Set player count. Oh. And that was it? No, there were 3 functions I did. Get player count, set player count. I don't know anymore. Oh, get player count and player dis slash connect. That works. Trying to get a short thing. Implementation of get player count, player connect, and player disconnect on the Sdk server. Work on now. What's the? Give me the. I need issues, please. Beautiful. Assigning me. I just want to actually see it. I like to see the code in GitHub. I actually find the diff of that really nice. Player tracking 1033. Beautiful. Works on. Whoops. 1033. Yeah, I don't think I need any more details than that. So actually I can do a couple of things, which this actually, let's push that up. Let's come over to, there we go. Let's come over to our workstation. No, it's not. Oh, come on. Oh, my internet wants to flake out. Of course it does. Of course it does. Or GitHub's having issues still, which is also entirely possible. Oh no, they seem to be pretty happy again. That's good. Yeah, it's also not having happies. Yeah, we'll see. Come on. Meh. Nope. Doesn't want to fly. All right, you know what? I will do this in a minute then. What I will do instead. Let's do a quick check over here. So before I commit anything, I do like to see git, compare with branch. Let's pop into master. Let's have a look. So we have some formatting changes here, nothing too crazy. Hey, my dog's outside. She's going to be very excited when I come out. Nothing too special going on there. And feature enabled, player connect. So it looks pretty good. Actually, the thing I like to check more than anything else, yeah, my imports all look good. All right, boom. Feature enabled. We do a mutex. Checked if that's okay. If the player is okay, then we kick out. Ooh, that's what we haven't tested. We have not tested this. Yeah, we haven't tested this. All right, cool. No, that's good. That's why we do this. And that should be relatively easy to do, actually. In fact, it's gonna be really easy to do. It's gonna be really, really easy to do. And then we also need to test this out as well. Beautiful. That looks good. Alrighty. Get player count. We get the count. Okay, nothing too much in here. We added a update player count. Let's put that all together. If there's no change, right? So we get the count. Blah blah blah. That's fine. If there's no change, then don't updates. It's possible. Yep. So we'll kick that out as well. Okay, so that looks pretty cool. Don't see any issues there. We saw one thing that we want to fix. String convert. Beautiful. All the way to the bottom of the jar. Where are we going here? Player connect to disconnect. Lots of goodies. So what I'm going to do at the end of this is actually check to see if the idempotent stuff works the way we expect. And then inside worker queue, I made a fix on a spelling mistake. Okay, so where's my test? Doop. Finally, check idempotency of connect and disconnect. So let's add. We know that 3 is still in there. So we want to do this. Boom. And we want that still. It's going to tell me that there's nothing on the left. Cool. And then we want to do a disconnect to a player that doesn't exist. Actually, 0, 1, 2. 2. 2 is already there. Why are you complaining? You're silly, that's why. Because it's 2. Now we can make it ID. Thank you. Oh no, you're fine. Why are you complaining? Oh, because I'm silly. There we go. Yeah, we can use that. ID dot player ID equals 0, and then we drop the ID back in again. And that doesn't exist, so it should come through and it should be fine. Okay. Cool. All right, let's see what happens there. That should be fine. That test everything out. Ooh, it failed. All right, what failed? Expected 1, actual 2. Oh. Disconnect. Try that again. That is looking pretty good. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay. Just going to drop that in that there, and we will try pushing that up now. Beautiful. My internet's working again. Lovely. All right, I'm going to do the full test suite up here. Make sure that works. That's pretty good. Also going to make sure that the conformance tests, actually, hold on, kill that for a sec. Timeout. We'll say 10. That's better. Okay. That can run a good chunk of tests. So this is all our unit tests and linting. This we actually have some. Oh, you know what? I didn't want everything. Oh, actually, you know what? That's actually really useful. Do that. Actually do that. I changed my mind. That's going to run all the current SDKs that we currently have and build them and run them against this new version of the Sdk server and make sure everything is working the way it should do. It looks like it's doing a good job. All right, while that's running in the background, let's have a look here. Beautiful. Prepare and pull request. Let's have a look. Oh, actually, I don't have the comment there that I want, but that's okay. I just want to actually have a look at it through here and see if there's anything that populate player tracking values. Okay, cool. Yep, that's true. Yep. Player IDs in the map. Yep, that is bad. We don't want that. Let that run in the background. That's having fun. Do some cleanup. And this is why we look at this stuff before we send it up for review. Yep, we can get rid of those. Excellent. That makes me happy. Player disconnect. Delete player IDs. Beautiful. Get player counts. This all looks really good. Take player counts. Do a really big tests. And then we have a test. Okay, that doesn't look like too bad a one. All right, so we're going to close that for the moment. And test failed. Why did you fail? We have an error on the Rust test. Let's run that again. Sometimes some of these are a little bit flaky. So let's run that again. Sometimes they can be a little flaky. I've definitely noticed that. So we'll triple check everything. Yeah, looks good. There we go. Beautiful. Yeah. Oh, that's fine. Cool. That looks better. Connect failed. That's an interesting one. I haven't seen that one before. Because it shut down. That's a new one. Not. Run it one more time. That might explain some interesting flakiness we've seen in some of the tests. Could definitely explain a couple of things. Why are you failing? Fetch, blah, blah. Docker run. Game server started. Testing failed. That's weird. Run it again. When in doubt, unplug it and plug it back in. How are we doing? We're good. Something. Alright, I'll run it without the timeout value. Because I'm very confused. There's nothing in here that should fail for any reason. Yeah, see, now it's fine. Okay, that's weird. What if it was just taking longer than the timeout? Okay, that's fine. Okay, cool. Good. All right, that feels better. All right, cool. Where are we? All right, that looks good. All right, so in which case, what I want to do now is do a GR behind master. What? Oh, I do too. You're right. add those little tiny tweaks. Now I can do a grb on master, and we will squash that one and fix up that one. Get rid of that line. Push that up. What I will do actually as well is let's make sure that master is updated, just to be absolutely sure with everything before we're finished. Get rebase master. Yeah, perfect. And that's already up, I'm pretty sure anyway. All right, let's submit this as a pull request. We'll be looking pretty good. We'll see, you know, hopefully it passes everything on CI. This is a feature work and user experience. Actually, let's not put that on there. Sorry. We don't know what milestone. We're making assumptions. This all looks quite good at first pass. Excellent. Let's hit the button. Boom. Away we go. All right. I am definitely done this time. If you want to follow along, please definitely hang out with me here on Twitch. So you can follow me here at Mark Mandel. You can catch this on YouTube at Mark S. Mandel, and you can follow me on Twitter at Neurotic. Cool. Hopefully that was fun and interesting. Hopefully you learned a couple of things and it was valuable. Hopefully we didn't get any technical hiccups. I'm still having some issues with my internet. I need to work out what the details are with that. Yay, new Comcast modem, I think. Outside of that, cool. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you all next time I happen to be on Twitch.